Now, from that, I would like to invite a very special guest from the home office. He is VP Global Sales, Trevor Luke. He's going to talk about why network marketing. So, Trevor, may I request you to please take it from here and share your presentation. Over to you, Trevor.
Yes, thank you, VJ. Thank you, Shashir, for the invite. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you guys enjoyed the World Cup. I don't know how many of you got to follow the World Cup and watch a little bit, but even if you just follow the storylines, I find it interesting, and I look at the meeting. It couldn't be more timely, and be about Shishir being a captain, and I look at some of the greats on here, like a Rob, Olinia, Jeff, Akrish, that are captains of a team. And, we got to see some great things in the world. We got to see some of the greatest footballers that have existed, the Messis, the Ronaldos, and we also got to see teams that we didn't expect rise up, right? Who would have expected Norway to come out of their first World Cup and be, and arise? And I look at that very similar to your guys' business, is you just don't know who has the opportunity to rise. And it can be anyone at any time. That's the beauty about football, but that's the beauty about life, is we have those opportunities to be able to rise up, overachieve. We even got to see some of the great ones fall, right? Germany got eliminated early. And it's not that we want to see someone fall, but there's opportunity for new people, and there's room, right? It doesn't mean that Germany's not there again. It just means that there is more room for all of us. And I look at your guys' business the exact same way, that there is plenty of room for each and every one of you to have success and to be able to rise up. And you've got great captains, and you've got great leaders, and you have a great opportunity and platform to do that. So today, I've got a couple of things I want to share with you. Let me share my screen. Give me just one moment. Okay, So I love to do this in person. So let's just imagine we're all together. Let's imagine that we're sitting in a room together, okay? And I want to do an experiment with you. So first, when I tell you to go, I want you to hold your breath. And I want you to try this, okay? You don't need to close your eyes. You can close your eyes. But I want you to hold your breath, okay? And I want you to hold it for as long as you can. So on the count of 3, I want everyone to take a deep breath. Okay, and I just want you to hold it. And I want you to hold it as long as you can. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, hold your breath. And as you hold your breath, I want you to just think about what's going through your mind right now. Is it painful? Is it hard? Are you wanting to laugh? Are you wondering what you're doing on this call tonight? Are you wondering what your team's doing? Are you thinking about follow-ups? Yeah, so many things could be running through your mind right now. Okay? Keep holding. That are breathing through your nose. That's cheating. Keep holding your breath. That's only about 35 seconds. Okay? Keep going. Some of you can keep doing it. Maybe there's some swimmers out there. Some of you swimmers are probably doing pretty well. Okay? So I can't see everyone's hand, but if you're still holding your breath, raise your hand. If you gave up, that's okay. All right, that's 1 minute. All right. Okay. You can go ahead and breathe now. Was that hard? Maybe for some of you it was hard. Maybe for others it was, maybe you are a swimmer and you can hold your breath for a couple minutes. So the reason I had you do that, there was an experiment. This was done back in the 50s and 60s, but they put a mouse in a jar of water and it swam for 15 minutes and drowned. Okay? Then they put another mouse in a jar of water and let it swim And right before it drowned, they pulled it out. Okay? So they pulled it out after 5 minutes. Then they put that same mouse back in the jar and let it swim. How long do you think that mouse was able to swim for? In the chat, throw in some times that you guys think. How long do you think this mouse, after it had been in there for 5 minutes, the first mouse drowned in 15 minutes? Do you think it was able to swim double time, 30 minutes? Maybe an hour? What do you guys think? Think about it. This was the shocking thing to me. It swam for 60 hours. 2.5 more days. Part of the reason for that, so they've done this science experiment, and they've done science experiments on other things now, and even on people, and they'll challenge them. So sometimes we think we're not capable of doing something because it feels hard. So the first mouse drowned in 15 minutes. But when they put it back in and they challenged the mouse and pushed the mouse for just 5 minutes and then pulled it back out and then put it back in, that mouse knew that it could swim. And there was hope that it would be pulled back out. So it was able to swim for another 2.5 days. How many times in our business, if we just only knew how much more we needed to do till we would have that success, would you do it? I think about it. If I were that mouse, or if I were challenged, would it make it easier for me if I knew how long it was going to take me to get to diamond, to bronze, to elite, gold, to platinum? Absolutely, it would make it easier. But guess what? We don't have that luxury. We have to go through that hard part. You guys have to go through that hard part. Just like Jeff, just like Olini, just like Rob, just like Akrish, just like all of you, even to get to diamond, you have to go through swimming. You have to go through those repetitions, but what it does is it changes your mental state. So once you do each of those milestones, you know that it can be. But how many times do we give up when we're so close, right? How many times if that mouse had even maybe held on for another 20 minutes, they have pulled it out? Up too early, okay? So as we go through today's presentation, we talked about the World Cup. And I know there's a lot of notes that you can take, okay? We talked a lot about the World Cup. We're going to talk about this experiment about personal mentality, and there's a lot of challenges. All of those things involve people. And so if there's one thing that I want you to take away today as I talk through what's happening in the world out there, we're going to talk about AI, and that's not people. I want you to remember people, okay? So we're going to talk about the gig economy. Again, that's not people, but we're going to talk about it. I want you to remember people because it's going to come back to that. It's going to come back to people. So keep that. You can write that down, put that in your notes, or put that in your phone. So about 10 to 15 years ago, the gig economy really popped up. So what's the gig economy? This is a big disruptor, not just only the direct sales network marketing industry, but the world in general. We had the Ubers, the Lyft, the Airbnb, the deliveries, and I don't even know all of them in India, but we've got TikTok, we've got Amazon, we've got people working remotely, virtual assistants. This is the gig economy, jobs that weren't necessarily traditional jobs. And before that, network marketing kind of used to be the first gig economy. It was the first side hustle, which I love the term. It was that first opportunity to be able to maybe step out of a traditional job and do something different on your own. And then the gig economy kind of did the same thing, and there was a little bit of disruption, right? It definitely makes it, and I'm sure even today, when I talk with many of you, one of the challenges that you guys face is, well, if I'm talking to someone successful or in a business, well, they may already be doing something on the side, such as driving for Uber or doing some sort of delivery or doing something online. And so maybe they're not quite as interested. So we're going to talk about that. That's definitely an objection that I hear. That's an objection you guys are facing. So let's talk about what that means. Okay. So can someone absolutely go out and do these things? Yes. And they may tell you that they're able to do that. So why would they do that? It's fast to start. Someone today can download an Uber app or an Ola app, and they can start driving and delivering something right away, right? Low barrier to entry. But their income is capped. Even though they may say it's unlimited, we'll talk about it. It is definitely limited on what they're able to make and earn. Okay? Our industry, you're not capped. You're not limited. So the risk can be high. And you're going, wait, but the risk isn't high in the gig economy. We'll talk about that risk. And one of the biggest things is they're not building a long-term asset. They have nothing tomorrow. They have nothing in a month from now. They have nothing tomorrow. What they do today is all that they earn. So the gig economy solves today's bills, but it rarely solves tomorrow's freedoms. Let that just sink in with you for a little bit. So as you're talking with these prospects, as you're talking with these people about why network marketing, why for life, right? And they're saying, hey, I can go out and I can drive Uber, or I can do these other things. Great, you can. But that's very short term. That's very short-sighted. Again, they're going to pay today's bills, but they're not going to have enough money long term. They're not growing anything long term. Okay? And we know that they're not going to have that freedom long term that they're looking for, because they're going to constantly have to do that. So with the use of AI, I went ahead and I pulled what a India Uber or Ola driver makes. Okay? So this is the average. So they make 35,000 rupees per month, or around $365. The very top end drivers are making 70,000 rupees per month. Okay? Now that may sound pretty good, right? But let's take a look at what that actually means. So top end drivers, that means they're having to work 14 plus hours per day to be able to get that. And guess what times a day they're having to do that? When are the peak times of day? 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. or to 9 a.m., right? And then they've got to go again from 5 to 9. So a lot of these drivers, when I travel around the world, I'll talk and I'll get an Uber, or I'll get a local driver, and I'll talk to them. A lot of them, they'll start super early so that they get the higher amounts. They'll take a nap during the day in their car, and then they'll drive again at night. But they're gone for 14 plus hours a day. And so even though they're like, oh, I'm my own boss, they're really tied to a car, or they're really tied to doing something else. And are they living the healthiest life possible? Are they, they're sleeping in their car. True story. About 2 years ago, I was traveling with Jenna Lisenby. We got into Kuala Lumpur really late at night, and we got a Grab driver to take us to our hotel from the airport. This is about 1 a.m. in the morning, and it's about a 30 to 45 minute drive to the hotel from the airport. And the Grab driver says, hey, can I pull over? I need to sleep. I'm really tired. And we've traveled, you guys know how long it is to travel across the seas. It's 24 to 36 hours depending on your journey. And we're like, no, we just want to get to the hotel, right? We're exhausted. We're tired. That Grab driver also had been working for close to 24 hours. And I think about that, and what type of life is that for, the amount of money that we paid for that and left a great tip, but the life that did it really justify 70,000 rupees per month? So that's on the top end. So if you break that down per hour, okay, per hour, they're only making 167 rupees per hour. That's not that much. So yes, they may say that they're making a lot of money and that they don't need this. Again, it solves today's problems, but long term, it's not solving what they're needing. They're having to work long hours. They may be better off going back and working a corporate job or doing something else. And that's where we come in, right? There is limited income. They can only drive for so many days, for so many hours. They can only stay awake for so many hours in a day. So maybe you talk with someone that does online selling. All right. There's issues with online selling. You've got inventory costs. So a lot of times you have to purchase that up front. So if you don't have the capital, how are you going to be able to sell something online, right? What happens if that product that you are selling all of a sudden stops trending and no one's buying it anymore? Well, you're stuck with all that in. You've got platform fees, right? Marketplace fees. So there's marketing campaigns that you have to do. You have withdrawal fees. Then you may be able to get in early, but then you've got price wars and competition. And then you've got other things that you've got to deal with. Well, if you're the one selling it, well, what happens with logistics if they don't get their package on time? What about a customer complaint? What about if there's a shipping error, returns, damages, bad reviews? Well, at 4Life, guess who handles all of that for you? We do. The corporate team does, right? You don't have to worry about the package. You don't have to worry about shipping errors. If you do, we take care of it. We do the returns, damaged items. We guarantee it, right? We help you out. But these are the things that you're going to have to deal with, or that you deal with your prospects that are selling online. Then let's talk about something that I know is very big in India, but virtual assistants, right? Freelance work. Now, this was a huge opportunity, and I know it's a big industry within India, especially other Southeast Asia markets that I work very closely with. But these are virtual assistants that work for maybe a European, US company or somewhere else overseas. But a lot of times the income is either project based, there's still paid hourly work, right? There's global competition now more than ever. So where India may have been taking jobs from the Philippines at one point, now Vietnam and even Africa are taking jobs from India. So this is a disruption to the gig economy. What happens when a client cancels their contract with you, or they go out of business? You need to stay competitive, so you've got to invest into training, education. There's really no career progression either. Even within 4Life, as we have our ranks, it's to a certain extent a career progression because you're advancing in your organization. You're growing your team. You have a career path forward. So you're always the service provider and you're never the owner. Okay? So this is the gig economy, right? This is what you guys are experiencing and what we've experienced. Now, let's add on one more layer, AI, right? AI is now the new disruptor. Okay, so let's talk about what's happened with AI and what we've seen happen and what we're seeing happen even at an accelerated rate. So if we look at the gig economy, what the gig economy did in the last 10 years, AI is going to do in the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to accelerate that fast. Okay, so what are some of the industries that are the most exposed? So just like the gig economy, it really disrupted network marketing to a certain extent, right? A lot of people in our industry felt that disruption. But we've been able to adapt and we've been able to overcome that. Okay. Now AI is going to disrupt the gig economy. So those freelance jobs, those virtual assistants that there are many of in India, they're going to be the most exposed. Okay. Why? Because AI can replace a virtual assistant task quickly. And guess what? AI doesn't have to sleep, just like that Grab driver, right? AI works 24/7. AI can respond to emails 24/7. AI can, and AI is so good now that you can pick up a phone and you don't know sometimes if you're talking to a live person or an AI agent. So those jobs are very exposed. So I look at that as an opportunity for us, because if there's virtual assistants that are making good money, that are educated, right? These are smart, intelligent people that are educated. Well, they're going to need a landing place. And For Life is a great landing place. It's a soft landing place for someone like this. So online selling, it becomes harder, not easier with AI. Why? Because AI gets into these algorithms, and then you get big platforms like Shopee, Amazon, Lazada, where these big organizations that have big budgets that use AI, guess what? They're investing into that so that their listings get first. Not some little guy like myself that wants to list something. These big companies are pushing everyone out. Then you've got even ride hailing and delivery facing long-term things. So I know this may be a little bit off in India, but so last year I was in Austin, Texas, and I got a Wemo. I don't know if you've seen these. These are the autonomous taxis that there is no driver. And so it's just on the Uber app. You can pick it. It comes and it picks you up and it drops you off. No driver whatsoever. Even these jobs of Uber or Ola are going to be replaced by AI at some point. They've talked about delivery with drones. Right now, that may not be everywhere, but it's happening in a lot of places. So things that we didn't think would be exposed in the gig economy are now being exposed, and it is going to be accelerated even faster. Again, what the gig economy did in 10 to 15 years, AI is going to do in the next 2 to 3 years. So we saw this huge explosive growth of AI or the gig economy, right? Because a lot of people shifted to this. Now AI is going to come in and replace a lot of these gig jobs. So what's going to happen is the competition's going to be fiercer. A lot of this is going to drop off. And these are not just gig economy, but some of the other industries that are really exposed. So talk about that, because this is where I want you to focus on people. So accountants, right? So AI can do a lot of the basic accounting. So a lot of accountants, these are highly educated people that went to school, that have degrees, right? Accountants are going to be losing their jobs. Legals, paralegals, a lot of the legal stuff that paralegals and legal lawyers are doing. Now, we're still going to have some of them, but a lot of those jobs are going to be replaced. And again, these are highly educated people that have invested money into their education, are going to be replaced by AI. Where do they go? What are they going to be looking for, right? They may need a landing place with some extra income even to get them through that. That's where we come in. That's where For Life comes in, the For Life opportunity to be able to earn extra income, to get them through those hard times. So, I'm sure many of you have heard this from Robert Kiyosaki. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else is just looking for a job. That's why, so when we talk about why network marketing right now, in an AI-driven economy, income flows to those who build people, trust, distribution, and not just tasks. So I've been a part of a few industry events over the last couple of months. I spoke at a Direct Sales University recently and got to listen to a lot of people within the industry. I've been a part of For Life for 11 years, and I've been in the industry for 11 years. Maybe many of you more than that. But over the 11 years, I've had to face and deal with the gig economy, right? That's been the biggest objection that I've had to deal with as I work with people in the field. That's one of the largest objections. I want to tell you today that I have never been more confident in network marketing, in the direct sales, in For Life than I ever have over the last 11 years. And here's why. Because as the gig economy's been disrupted, as AI is going to disrupt the gig economy, there's always been one thing that can never be replaced, and that's people. Okay? So as we go back to the World Cup, as we go back to as individuals, as we're holding our breath, striving to make things to find a way to be better, to challenge ourselves, it goes back to people. AI cannot replace people. AI cannot replace the human to human contact, the touch, the conversations. And so I have never been more confident and more excited in the last 11 years about what it is that we do and what it is that we have than I ever had today. Because I see the world changing, and there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of excitement that things are progressing quickly. In that, there's going to be a lot of disruption. And that's where we come in. That's where we, each and every single one of you, have that opportunity, because it can't replace you. AI can't replace you. It can help you, but it can't replace you. It can't replace this conversation that we're having today. It can't replace when Rob and Olenia get on and they talk, share their experiences. AI can't do that. They can't do that with emotion. They can't do that with feeling. They can't do that with the experience that these guys have. It can't. It can talk about it, but it is a lot different. Just like the World Cup, watching it and seeing it and watching Messi go into the finals. And even though he didn't win, I don't think there's one person that says that he's a failure or that he's not one of the greatest of all times, right? Because it's a people business, and that's never going to be replaced. And so I have never been more excited. I want you guys to know that in network marketing, there is a wave coming, okay? There is a wave coming to this industry, and I hope you're ready for it. And I hope you're preparing for it. And I hope you're thinking about it. How do I capture this disruption? How do I capture these legals, paralegals, accountants, drivers, virtual assistants that need income? Because people still buy from people. They don't buy from AI agents. They don't buy from bots. They buy from people that they trust. How do you become that trusted source? So, as the world chases speed and convenience through AI and the gig economy continues to overlook something that's timeless. And that's the power of human connection. And the greatest value still created is by people loving people. And that's where you come in. And that's where For Life comes in, right? We are together building people. That's who we are. And this wave of people needing other people is more today than it's ever been throughout my entire life that I have seen. And I hope that every single one of you are able to grab your surfboard, grab whatever it is that you need, but let's ride this wave. Let's ride this wave that is coming into For Life and to For Life India and to wherever else you want to expand your business, because it's coming. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to miss this wave. This is the biggest wave that's going to hit our industry in probably the next 10 years that I can see. And it's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. So let's get ready. I need to tell you again, I am more excited about this opportunity than I have ever been in the 11 years that I've been a part of For Life. Not only that, For Life continues to develop great products. We've just discovered transfer factors in plants. And we continue to develop that. What that is going to do for India and what that's going to do globally, we have no idea, but we continue to develop. We're the immune system company, but before any of that, we are a people business and we need each other. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Again, I am so thankful for VJ, Shashir, the entire team, to be a part with Alinea and Rob and Jeff. I'm grateful for every opportunity that I have. And it's through these connections and these opportunities that I get to meet with many of you that continue to drive me. And this is what makes me excited about being a part of For Life and this industry. So together we can do this. Together we can be great, but it's through people that we're going to be great. Thank you so much, For Life India. I wish you all the success, and I so hope you're ready for what's coming for you. The opportunity, the success together. Let's go.
Thank you, Trevor. That was an amazing presentation. Loved it. it was a really interesting mouse experiment. That was also a shocker for a lot of us, I guess. It was a shocker for me. Yeah, I agree with you about this gig economy. It is going to disrupt the market, and yeah, but it has a limited income, it has a limited opportunity, and AI can never replace people. That is for sure, and completely agree with you. The wave is coming in this industry, and we have a lots of opportunity. We are the best in the industry right now, whether it's India or US or any part of the world. We are the best in this industry. So yeah, it's a very big opportunity coming towards us. We must ready to grab it. So thank you so
Huge.
much for sharing this one wonderful presentation. I'm sure everyone loved it like I did, and many of them had made. Yeah, I started getting the comments. Gautam ji said awesome presentation. So yeah, so thank you, Trevor.